Today we're going to demonstrate one of FortiGate Cloud's new and exciting features, Overlay as a Service. Overlay as a Service offers a simple turnkey solution for secure inter-site overlay provisioning and monitoring. Now, as an integrated part of FortiGate Cloud Advanced, organizations of all sizes can now manage their entire corporate network through a single SaaS-based portal and unified dashboard. Overlay as a Service includes everything an organization needs to securely interconnect their corporate and cloud locations in minutes, including Fortinet managed hubs at geo-redundant locations. We are now logged into FortiCloud, which is the launching pad for Fortinet Cloud Services. As a prerequisite, we will need to have our FortiGates connected to the internet and registered with our FortiCloud account for them to be part of our inventory. From here, I will now access the FortiGate Cloud portal. You can see here that we have 3 FortiGates in our account for use in this demo. Once we're in FortiGate Cloud, scroll down to SD-WAN Overlay. The Overlay as a Service feature only needs 3 things to define a site. They are FortiGates, ISPs, and local subnets. Once you have defined multiple sites, Overlay as a Service will do the rest and create an SD-WAN overlay between them. In our demo today, we will go through the steps to deploy an overlay from scratch. To do this, click on the topology menu option. We can see that there's a hub icon on our topology map. Click on it and select Edit. This first step is to select the location of our Fortinet hosted hubs. These hubs are included at no additional cost as part of the service and help facilitate the secure branch-to-branch connectivity between our sites. You will need to select 2 hub locations, one of which will be for redundancy purposes. We will go ahead and select Plano, Texas as our primary location and Burnaby, Canada as our secondary location. Now click Apply. If you want to view the status of active tasks, simply click on the task icon in the top right corner. And after a minute or so, our hubs are now deployed, and we are ready to add sites to our overlay. Now that the hubs have been added, we will next add a site. To do this, click on our hub icon again and select Add Site. Let's give our site a name and select the type of site it is. I want to point out here that both branch and data center site types behave the same and have no impact on functionality as it pertains to Overlay as a Service. The site type is more for our own informational purposes. We will name our site Sunnyvale HQ. Once that's done, click on the device dropdown and select our HQ FortiGate from the device inventory. Next, click Add and then Done. You can see that the Sunnyvale site has now been added to our overlay topology map. We will now repeat these simple steps for our other 2 branch sites in Chicago and New York. We will fast forward this process for the sake of time. You can see that we have now defined 3 sites within our topology. What we'll need to do next is add our ISPs and subnets to our sites. Like the previous step, we will do this for our Sunnyvale site and repeat the process for the others. Let's now go to our Sunnyvale site and click Add ISP. Adding an ISP is very straightforward. Give it a name, which can be the name of your internet service provider. Optionally, enter in the cost of the link, which can be used for SD-WAN link prioritization, and select the WAN interface for that site to map it to. In our example, the WAN ports are all connected to port 1 and port 2 on the respective FortiGates. Click Done, and you can see that ISP 1 now shows up on the map. We'll repeat this process for ISP 2. Next, we'll add a subnet. Much like adding an ISP, the process of adding a subnet to our Sunnyvale site is also very simple. Let's name our subnet LAN. Choose Direct and select the interface with the subnet we want from the list. In our demo environment, the subnet is directly connected to the site FortiGate, so we will choose Direct. For instances where we require a static route to reach our chosen subnet, use the Indirect option. We can see that the Sunnyvale subnet now shows up on the topology map. Let's repeat this process for our other 2 branch sites. Now that we've fully defined the ISP and subnet for all of our sites, It's time to deploy these changes and have Overlay as a Service create our SD-WAN overlay according to these definitions. Now click the Apply button located at the bottom right corner. The process of building out the overlay will take a couple minutes. During this process, the necessary SD-WAN, VPN, and routing configurations along with firewall policy will be automatically installed onto the FortiGates. If you wish to view the progress, click on the View Task button or the Progress button at the top. Once we see the process show as complete, refresh the topology page. Here, you will see the actual topology and status of our VPN overlay. Initially, you will see red around some or all of our sites. This means that the VPN tunnel for a given site is not up yet. Simply wait a few moments for all of the sites to show up as green. And just like that, our VPN overlay has been created and the sites can now securely and privately communicate with each other. To monitor the status of our overlays, all you have to do is click on the site you wish to look at. Here, you'll see the status of active shortcut tunnels, overlay details, performance, as well as some site information. You might have noticed that there are no active shortcut tunnels yet for our sites. I want to take a moment to point out that overlays created by the service use Fortinet proprietary AD-VPN technology. AD-VPN creates dynamic VPN tunnels between sites on demand. This gives all the benefits of full mesh, with the scalability of hub and spoke. All we need to do to create an AD-VPN tunnel between our Sunnyvale and Chicago sites is to generate traffic between hosts residing in either site's subnet. We started a ping between machines on both subnets in the background, and we can see that there's now a shortcut tunnel between the two sites. Next, we're going to demonstrate how easy it is to create policies which allow site-to-site communications with Overlay as a Service. One of the most common use cases is to allow all our different sites to communicate with each other. Using our intent-based policy engine, we can do all of this with one simple policy. Let's navigate to policy. You can see that we currently do not have any policies. Navigating the menu on the left, you'll see that we can create address objects, services, as well as apply advanced security inspection, such as antivirus, web filtering, application control, and IPS to our overlay traffic. Now, to create the policy, we must first look at our address objects. You'll see that once our overlay was created, Overlay as a Service automatically created an address object for each of our local subnets. To further simplify things, what we can do is create a single object that represents all of the local subnets in our overlay network. To do that, let's go to the Address Group tab and click on the Create button. Next, let's give our address object a name. We'll call it All LAN. Next, let's select all of our sites one by one, and when we're done, click OK. Now the next step would be to create our policy. Go to Overlay Policy and click Create. Let's give our policy a name, Allow All LAN. For both the source and destination, select the address group object All LAN we just created. For service, select All. We can limit the scope of what's allowed if desired, but for our demo, we will allow all traffic between our sites. For schedule, choose Always, and action, select Accept. Since this is east-west traffic, let's protect it by enabling IPS on this policy. Finally, click OK. Once our policy is created, click Save to save the policy. After it's been saved, it's time to apply the policies to our 3 FortiGates in our overlay. Simply click Apply. After a few seconds, you'll see that the policy change has been applied. Now, let's log on to the FortiGate to see what Overlay as a Service did under the hood. Here is our Sunnyvale HQ FortiGate. You can see that Overlay as a Service created multiple policies on the FortiGate. This is a stark contrast to the single intent-based policy we created in Overlay as a Service. If we log on to our New York branch FortiGate, we can see a very similar thing. A single policy in Overlay as a Service resulted in 4 policies in each of our sites. The more sites we have, the more time we saved using Overlay as a Service. In just a few short minutes, we have successfully created an SD-WAN overlay which allows secure and private communications between all of our branches and headquarters. Furthermore, using the overlay as a service intent-based policy engine, we've created a policy that allows LAN traffic traversing the overlay between multiple sites. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.